let's face it, these are difficult times in the world from a humanitarian standpoint. The conflict in Ukraine right now is heartbreaking. And as we wait to see what unfolds with that situation, certainly that conflict has sent shockwaves through the financial markets over the last several weeks. And while inflation has been running hot for the last year, it's only worsened as we've seen the price of oil go up, which has certainly caused extra strain on the consumer for gasoline prices. So what I want to talk about today is, while we see these big declines in the markets, exiting the market or getting out of the market during times of volatility or decline can be detrimental to one's long-term plan. So we're going to talk about missing the best days in the market. So number one thing you've got to know is that steep market declines or big declines typically precede large gains. And so as investors, you're seeing the market go down, and there's this tendency to want to push the sell button because it's scary and it causes a lot of angst. I get it. I'm an investor myself. But this is what you've got to know. And if you take away anything from this video, please hear me. Investors that exit the market or get out of the market during times of decline or volatility typically do not return to their investments or to the market until it's too late. The market has already gone back higher than it was. And the reason is, institutional investors and portfolio managers, they're always looking ahead, at least 6 months. So if there's the consensus that conflict will be resolved or the economy is going to get better, the market will already start to move higher even when the news is terrible out in the marketplace. So again, investors typically won't return until it feels better, but oftentimes that's too late. And so, one thing that Dave Ramsey, who's kind of a financial guru, one thing he says is those that jump off a roller coaster are those that get hurt. Okay, so let's look at some data. Let's take, for example, somebody that invested $10,000 on January 1st, 2002, and they stayed in the market for 20 years, all the way until December 31st, 2021. So that person, they invest 10 grand, they're in the market for 20 years, they never get out, right? That person would have $61,860 after that 20 years, and they would have never gotten out. Now let's say that same person who invested the 10,000 January 1st, 2002 and stayed invested through, they didn't stay invested, they were out of the market on the 10 best days. So over 20 years, they were out of the market on just the 10 best days. They'd only have $28,260. So less than half if they would have just stayed the course. So again, those that get hurt on a roller coaster are those that jump off. Okay, so what's the responsible thing to do during these times of volatility and times of decline? Number one, make sure you've got 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in the bank. This money is not to be invested or speculate with it at all. It's there. So if your expenses every month, let's just say for easy math, is $10,000 per month, you need to have at least 30 grand sitting in the bank. You're not touching it, and it's just there. That should provide a little bit of ease during times of volatility. Number two, make sure that your asset allocation and your risk tolerance is in line with your investment stage of life. So if you're at or near retirement, probably not a good idea to be 100% in the stock market. It's just way too much emotional angst that you don't need to take on. Okay. Number three, take care of your physical and your mental health. Market declines can really cause a lot of strain and stress. It's really important that you're taking care of yourself to get through these difficult times. And as it relates to your financial plan, keep an eye on the long term. So I hope this has been helpful. I don't expect the conflict in Ukraine to resolve overnight. Certainly hoping that things get taken care of. It's just heartbreaking to see that. Also, inflation probably not going to get better overnight, also. So we got to be patient and wait for these things to be resolved, but hang in there. And please always know, we're here to provide counsel. It's part of our job description. So have a great rest of your week, and God bless.